All right, so this is the average function. If you watch the function on count, I mentioned in count that some people use sum and count in order to then work out the average. So they sum up a total of a column and they count how many values there are in that column in order to divide one by the other one in order to go, that's the average. But you don't need to do that because, as I mentioned in the count video, it's sometimes unclear as to what is actually being counted. Whereas in the average one, what you can do here is if you want to average up those numbers, if we actually select over that and we have a look down at the bottom, it says sum 44, count 9, average 4.888889. So it knows what the average is, 4.88. So if we come here and we say equals average, then open your brackets, select that range, close the brackets, it gives that average. So what it's done is it's counted up, it knows how many there are, and it's averaged it out. What then happens is if there is, for example, a letter in between that, it doesn't pick it up. It just excludes that from the average. It just takes the number values that it can find. It ignores any text. So if we take that one out, it's still fine. If we use formulas to calculate the numbers, so there are some blanks, then what will happen, oops, we've gone too far. If you put those formulas in, it still recognizes it ignores the blank and it recognizes the rest as values. So that's all good. The other thing that we need to remember is that when you've typed in number values like you have here, when it's a blank, if you were to add those up, if we count that as a 0, we'd consider that a 0. But when you're actually doing an average, it doesn't take that as a 0, because if we actually put a 0 in there, you can see it changes to 4.4. So now all of a sudden it's including that 0. But if it's blank space, it doesn't include the 0. So your average is quite intuitive because it looks through the numbers. It only takes those that it can recognize as a number, and it finds the average of those. So it takes the count and the sum based on numbers only. It ignores all your blanks and if there are any words or anything like that within that, that range, and it simply gives you the average. So it's quite useful. There's also obviously variations, average if, and so on. You can have a look at the other videos, but that is how you use the average and when to use the average. And yeah, I hope that that's cleared up some things for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.